YouTube. So here we are. The mower is home. So far in the previous video I talked about the carburetor and I showed you the number, which number is that? The number 1 cylinder was missing. It had bent push rod. This exhaust valve was actually stuck. I discovered that I didn't notice this earlier, but I discovered that the exhaust valve guide is actually pushed down, which is short for head no good. But it is actually running, but it's running on the number 2 cylinder over here. The carburetor, excuse me, the carburetor is missing a Welsh plug, which is, when I start it up, you'll hear it kind of surge at idle. That's why it's doing that. But about an hour ago, I had it on the other side of my truck over there and got it running, and just to check a few things, just to see how much more work we had ahead of us. Tried the blades on it. The blades came right on. The safety worked. The hydros, I drove the mower over here on its own power. The hydros seemed to be functioning. The plan is to get it running, maybe not on both cylinders, but on the 1 cylinder, just to make sure the hydros are good, and then we're going to go from there. For all I know, as far as other things that are really panning out, it could be charging the battery. That would be nice. Because these standers, the harness here on it, are well known for having charging problems and having a broken wire in the harness that doesn't allow the battery to charge. And Wright Stander has actually recently gotten around that by adding in a different engine plug that just completely reroutes the charging, but that's not our problem at the current time. The head, like I said, is no good. Is that why it's running on 1 cylinder? Possibly. I have seen these run with a bad head for many years. I have seen, tired. I have seen it where the intake gaskets are bad, and I'm kind of leaning towards that right now. I would take it apart and look at it, but I don't have the gaskets to put back on it. I could put a new head on it for a couple $100. I'm not really wanting to do that because the motor this machine has 3,000 hours on it, and I don't want to do that because I don't want to just waste that money when I could just get a new engine. Either way, it'd be nice to get it running on both cylinders, just long enough to at least test it out. But I'll show you real quick, I'll let you hear it. Unplug the 1 cylinder over here, see if maybe I could hear it catch or something. Try to hear it attempting on the 2nd cylinder, which I do believe it is, but I'll tell you what I'm going to do, just because I'm curious, and it's gonna bother me all night because I think about this stuff in my sleep. I'm gonna take off the intake here and take a quick gander at it. Worst comes to worst, I can just push the mower around. But I'm really curious as if this is the problem. Because the way it's acting, the way it sounds to me like it's a lack of, on this intake side right here. The real way for me to really get a better idea would be if I have some WD-40, but I don't have any brake parts cleaner. Is how this stuff really does. The brake parts cleaner is extremely flammable, and it will, if you have a leaking intake gasket, you can spray it and it will suck in the brake cleaner and it'll run on that. So I'm trying to see if, just by taking this off, I'm going to see if I've got a bad intake gasket. I need to cut those real quick. Tip for the future, this is a tech tip. You never want your tools further away than about 6 feet. Of course, mine are on the other side of the garage, but that's okay, because the garage isn't all that big anyway. So, now, where did my flashlight go? Oh, there it is. That gasket looks like it was intact, and this one here we know was already good. So, maybe that wasn't the problem. A little premature on it, but if I had, like I said, had some brake parts cleaner, I could have resolved it. I could have at least felt it out. The way it's looking, that head is no good. Correction, the head is no good because the valve guide has moved in it. But I have seen them run with that valve guide moved. But that seems to be the case right now, so I will do a little more digging, see what I can come across, see what I figure out what I want to do, and then we will go from there. I appreciate you guys watching. As always, stay tuned, and you have a very nice day.